Monday, March 18th, 2019 at 6:25 p.m. Catherine, you can take the roll, please.
Trustee Lina?
Here.
Trustee Sella?
Here.
Trustee Wood? Trustee Hall?
Here.
Trustee Mahoney? Here. Trustee Andreessen?
Here.
President Miller?
Here. All right, if you would all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. First item on our agenda is public comment on agenda items only. Do we have anybody that wants to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to open up a public hearing. This is a public hearing to consider a request for variances from section 15604A3B and 15604A3Z for the property located at 200 Christina Drive. The pin is 0325126004. So at this time, we'll open that. Do we need anything further?
We could invite the applicant to come up and speak at the end of the
Very good.
meeting.
The Colombo Management Company wants to have a sign, like the signs they already have on their property. However, this one, at the 200 location, is way too close to the parking lot, like actually up against it. So they want to move it to the far end of their, as it shows, I believe, of their property line, which is part of the easement. But they want to take responsibility for any easement problems and would have the sign moved if that became a problem.
Okay, very good. So we are going to discuss that later. Do we have anybody from the public that wants to speak on that issue? Okay. So seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing on this. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we have a consent agenda here. We have multiple items. Does anybody have anything they want to add or subtract from the? No? Seeing none, can I have somebody make a motion to approve the consent agenda this evening?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Item A, motion to approve the regular village board meeting minutes dated February 18, 2019. Item B, motion to advise and consent to the village president's reappointment of John Weiss, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, to the police commission for a term expiring April 30th, 2022. A motion to advise and consent to the village president's reappointment of Craig Martin to the police commission for a term expiring April 30th, 2021. Item D, motion to approve a special ordinance authorizing the ceding of a private activity bonding authority to the Upper Illinois River Valley Development Authority. Item E, motion to authorize staff to submit the 2019-2020 joint purchasing requisition form for the renewal option and requisition amount of 500 tons of rock salt to the Illinois Department of Central Management Services. Item F, motion to approve an ordinance of the Village of East Dundee, Cook and Kane County, Illinois, changing the name of Clay Drive east of the east right-of-way lane of Christina Drive for a distance of 319 feet to Rena Road.
Second.
Very good. Okay.
Trustee Lina?
Yes.
Trustee Sella?
Yes.
Trustee Wood?
Yes.
Trustee Hall?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Andreessen?
Yes.
Very good. We have no old business. New business, the first thing we have is, I apologize if I messed this up, recognition of Joseph Rivialic as Police Officer of the Year for 2018.
Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the time on your agenda to make an important presentation. I'm really happy to be here tonight. The police department has recently begun an awards program. Supervisory staff last fall voted to begin this award, and we announced the award to all personnel in early December. One of the award categories is Police Officer of the Year. We have many more. We opened up nominations for Police Officer of the Year to all personnel the first of the year. 11 different employees submitted written nominations with their justification for 4 different police officers. The 4 who were nominated were Sergeant Andy Ritter, a 10-year veteran of the East Dundee Police. I don't believe he's here this evening. Officer Ryan Miles, who has 4.5 years with us. Ryan, would you raise your hand, please? Thank you. Officer Joe Ribialik, 2.5 years with us. Joe. Officer Dave Antes, 4.5 years as a part-time officer and who is retired from the Schaumburg Police Department. It's unusual to see a part-time police officer get nominated for Police Officer of the Year. So I want to say a word about that. Officer Antes has multiple nominations for this award by his colleagues, indicating that personnel in the police department truly appreciate all of his hard work. Is Dave here?
Yes.
Thank you, Dave. You jump in to help everyone in the police department with whatever the task at hand might be. You're with us to help your colleagues. You did the same with me when I began here just over a year ago. Dave has been Officer of the Year when he worked in the Schaumburg Police Department, and he was multiple times nominated for the award. Dave, thanks for everything. Okay, back to the award. The criteria for the award is as follows. Police Officer of the Year is presented to the officer who has made the most significant contribution to the police department throughout the year and who, through his dedication, loyalty, and consistently high quality of work, sets himself apart as an officer to be emulated. The selection for this year's recipient was made by Lieutenant Governale, Sergeant Haas, and me. Sergeant Ritter recused himself because he was nominated. Selected for the first ever Police Officer of the Year in East Dundee is a man who is described by his colleagues as having high motivation. I got new glasses and I'm struggling here. I don't know where to hold it. He's highly motivated. He puts forth maximum effort. He wants to improve himself every day and then share what he learns with others. He has a very positive attitude. He makes high-quality arrests in helping to keep East Dundee safe. He has integrity. He holds himself accountable for what he does. And he's beyond his years as a newer officer, what one of the nominations said. This year's Police Officer of the Year is Officer Joseph P. Ribialik. I have observed this past year that he routinely achieves excellent results as a patrol officer. He is a quiet and soft-spoken person, but in his work, he's aggressive and always resourceful. We are all proud of Joe's values, of the work he performs and the results he achieves. I am proud to represent the East Dundee Police Department in presenting him with a plaque for Police Officer of the Year 2018. Joe?
Yeah, like she said, I've been here 2.5 years. I know I still have a lot to learn, but it's been a great experience so far. I want to thank everyone I worked with for nominating me for this, even though I've been here for such a short period of time. And then thank the village for everything they do for us, and also the police commission for giving me the chance back in 2019 or 2016 to start my career here, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
So I also wanted to explain that we've started a multi-year plaque. It will be displayed in the police department lobby, and Joe's name is the first one on it.
All right.
In the future, let me also say, in the future, we're going to appoint 3 people to a standing awards board because we have 8 categories of awards now. This system of peer review is a proven method for making best decisions on our employees because peers know who come to work every day and they know what really happened in the field. Back in my youth, we started an awards program in the agency I worked in 1979. We first introduced Officer of the Year. My chief at the time asked me to make the presentation before the village board. That was 40 years ago. The first presentation, the first award went to an outstanding young officer that I worked with for 20 years in Wilmette, who today is the chief of police in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I tell you this because standing here this evening, I wonder what heights Officer Rubialek is destined to reach. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
You can have 7 seconds to learn. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. Okay. That takes us to new business E, which is a motion to advise on consent. If I can have a motion on that, please.
I'll make a motion to advise and consent to the village president's appointment of Joe Ignacio Pena to the board of police commissioners for term expiring April 30th, 2020.
Second.
Very good.
Trustee Lina?
No.
Trustee Silla?
Yes.
Trustee Wood? Yes. Trustee Hall?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Andreessen?
Yes.
Very good. Sir, you want to get up and introduce yourself? Very good. Wait on line.
Sure. For those who don't know me, my name is Ignacio Joe Pena. I'm a former police chief here. I was a chief for over 25 years. I left in 2006. Went out to Shanahan, Illinois for about 8 years. Retired at the beginning of 2014. Returned home to East Dundee that lived in for like 40 years. I'm excited about the opportunity to continue to serve the community. I look forward to working with the board and helping the police chief and growing the police department in a positive direction.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
I, Joe Ignacio Pena,
I, Ignacio Joe Pena,
sorry, having been appointed to the position
having been appointed to the position
of Chairman of the Board of Police Commissions
Chairman of the Board of Police Commission
in the Village of East Dundee,
in the Village of East Dundee,
in the County of Kane, State of Illinois,
in the County of Kane, State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position
of Chairman of the Board of Police Commissions
of Chairman of the Board of Police
to
Commission
the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Joe? Joe?
Sir, oh, yes.
Go ahead, table it, Joe. Can't get out of here that easy.
Yes, sir. Thanks again. Good to see you again.
Okay, that takes us on to item C here, which is discussion and consideration of a motion. Somebody please.
What was the motion to
A motion, this is discussion and consideration of a motion. We don't actually have a motion, right? Very good.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jerry Christopherson. I'm president of True Patriots Care. I've been seeing our flags around the area for 10 years now. It's the 10th year we've been doing this. So I'm here tonight with some good friends of mine. They're all the guys in white here. They're from the Dundee Carpentersville American Legion Post 679. And they worked for almost 2 years to get the wall that heals, the Vietnam tribute, to come to our town. And we found out, I think it was in November, that we've been awarded not only to get it, but we got it for the 4th of July week. So, 142 towns across the United States applied for it. Only 34 were awarded it, and we were one of them. So, I got a short video I'm going to show in just a minute, but Vietnam War, there's some that are going to remember and some that aren't going to remember because they weren't even old enough. But there was a story I read a couple months ago, and it was a story about a soldier. A soldier that came home from his tour duty in Afghanistan. And when he got home, this town had a parade in his honor. Now, this soldier, he wasn't a hero. He hadn't won any awards or any decorations. He was just a soldier doing his job for his country, and his hometown showed their appreciation. Now, for you that were around 50 years ago, if you go back that far, when our Vietnam veterans came home, none of that happened. There was nobody there to greet them, to shake their hands, to thank them. And then many times, they were spit upon for doing their job. Well, that's so long that has gone on far too long. And what we want to do this week in July is we want to correct that blight law that's gone on far too long. So it's actually a 5-day event. The wall will come into town, escorted wall will come into town on July 2nd. And this is the video you watch. Should have sound.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, you can see it's comes into town fully escorted. That's a 46-foot trailer, I want to say it is.
To allow people to have that same kind of healing experience, to come and show their respect, to remember those 58,000 whose names are on the wall, as well as the 2.7 million Vietnam. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund many years ago created a replica of the wall that travels to communities around the country that we call the Wall That Heals. This mobile replica really is about taking the names home to communities, large and small, to allow people to have that same kind of healing experience, to come and show their respect, to remember those 58,000 whose names are on the wall, as well as the 2.7 million Vietnam veterans who served who returned home. It's a chance to look back and pay their respects to those who answered the call of service to their country, especially those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
To be able to take this around communities that may not even know anything about the wall or the war, especially for the young kids, to come out and see these things and get educated on it. People need to know what these 58,000 plus gave their lives for, whether they want to hear about it or not, they need to know.
The experience at the Wall That Heals is as you go from one end in toward the center, the wall actually rises up above you so that it's taller than you are, which is one of the key design aspects of the wall in Washington. As you go down one of the walkways, the wall actually rises above you. And I think that has a psychological impact where you actually understand that there is something important here. It is so large that it creates an emotion of power, and you understand you're supposed to stop, you're supposed to think about it. And in this case, you can read the names, you can see your reflection in the wall, and you have to remember why those names are inscribed. These are people who sacrificed their lives for our country.
I get this feeling in my stomach, the pride that you see. When we went into San Dimas, the kids were all along the streets with their American flags. That always chokes me up because I know what it is to serve this country. And we as Americans sometimes don't understand the cost of war. Hate the war all you want, but don't hate the warrior.
I met a couple guys here this morning. One guy, I walked up to him and he started crying already. Man, that makes me feel good. Not that he's crying, but that he's here to have bonding with someone and be able to find his buddy on the wall. It means so much.
anybody's been to Washington to see the Vietnam Wall, the same guys that funded that and got that built are the ones that put this wall together. This is a brand new wall this year. It's 3/4 of the size of the one in Washington. It's 375 feet long. So we have Randall Oaks, about the only spot that was big enough for it. And it'll be up there. Like I think I said, this is the True Patriots 10th anniversary of our flag tributes. And our first tribute was we welcomed home Vietnam veterans 10 years ago. So I thought it was really cool now that we can welcome home again and include the wall. Because it's something we had, that week I've said many times, was the greatest week of my life. Because I got the opportunity to shake hands, to thank them, and welcome literally hundreds of Vietnam veterans home that really never got welcomed home. So that's our plan, okay? So you saw there where we're coming to town. It's going to go right down Main Street. We'd like people to come out and cheer it on, wave flags and stuff. The American Legion is going to be on one side of the bridge, VFW is going to be on the other side of the bridge. I'm going to loan out any of our flags if anybody wants to hold them up as it goes by. It's a fully escorted state police escorted run. So it's going to be very moving. So that's the second. When it gets to the park, it's just a photo opportunity then and to thank the people for getting into the park safely. The third is when you see how they were putting it together. That takes about 30 people, 6 to 8 hours just to put the wall together. We'll also be putting up flags in the park, 1,598 flags, and so many POWs and MIAs that are still missing from the Vietnam War. So we have made oversized dog tags for each one of those, and we'll have an alphabetical order. Way back in the Vietnam War, you could buy a wristband with the name of the POW. My wife still has hers, and she always goes and looks for it, whatever there's a display. So that'll be, we should be done about 6 o'clock on Wednesday. It'll just be a soft opening then. It'll be open 24 hours a day. But maybe you could see a little, it's all LED lighting on the wall itself. So you can come anytime. We'll have what we call educators at the wall. What a lot of people don't understand is they're not in alphabetical order on the wall. They're on the wall by the time, the date that they died. So it'll be almost, if you don't know when they died, it'd be almost impossible to find it without help. So we'll have volunteers there. We'd love you guys to volunteer if you can spend some time. It's 2 or 4 hour shifts, whatever you want. But what you can do is actually right on your iPad or laptop, you can find the name. And it'll tell you it'll be panels like 74, line 14. Okay, so that works. There's 8 soldiers who were killed from Carpentersville, 9 from Elgin, 1 from Huntley, or Gilbert's rather, none from East or West Dundee, believe it or not. So, but if you saw that trailer where it was open on the side, they have done background on every one of the 58,000. And they have, I think, all but 160 pictures. So they find the 100 closest to Dundee. And those pictures with the bio and where they went to school and all they can find out about it will be continually rotating through the 5 days of the event. So that's the third. The 4th of July would be a big event, big program there. We'd like everybody to come. We haven't finalized it yet, but I'll keep you informed. The 5th of July is Friday, it's just open all the time. The 6th is a Saturday night. We're going to have a candlelight service out there, and we're going to try to get all the different churches involved if we can. And then on the 7th of July, which is Sunday, at 2 o'clock is the closing ceremony, and then at 3 o'clock it closes, we take everything down, and the truck just quietly leaves to go to the next stop. So, how to get this? It was hard. To pay for it, it's harder. And the wall itself, just to get the wall to come to Dundee, was $10,000. So, then you got stuff that people wouldn't realize, you gotta get a generator, you gotta get fuel for the generator, you gotta get lighting, you gotta get porta potties, you know, it just, everything just keeps adding up. So our budget is just under $30,000 for the event. So, West Dundee helped us, and Cartersville helped us, so we're asking you guys to consider it as possible as you can. So, we have some flyers and some posters, I believe, you can put up around and stuff, that'd be good. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Here's a quick question for you, sorry. And I thank you for what you do, and of course, I've got to break the ice by asking a down earth question that, makes me look like a bad guy. Are you a 501c3?
Yes.
Okay, so, two questions. What happens if you don't raise, I know that you're raising funds on your webpage as well, too. What happens if you don't raise enough money? And what happens if you raise more than you need?
We'll still have it. That's one of the reasons the True Patriots partnered with the American Legion Post, to make sure that we could do it. Even if nobody said yes, we're going to do it. Okay? So yes, that won't be a problem. We're going to have different items. We have real cool t-shirts that people can buy as a souvenir, and challenge points. I hope they'd be here today, but they're not. So we're going to be selling those. So, and then we got a bowling fundraiser this week from Friday. So there's all kinds of stuff. So we're working. I tell you this, these and about 5 more guys are the hardest working veterans I have seen, because they never stop after they got home serving our country. They do it today. So that's not an issue.
So the other question at the end was, if you raise more than you need for this, what it sounds like you're anticipating doing, does that money then just go into, is that just for the VFW?
Not to be a total, it's American Legion.
American Legion, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but it really is two distinct.
Yes,
things. The VFW, like myself and everybody here, or except Dwayne, we can't join the VFW because we didn't serve
Understood, yeah.
4 more. Okay, so that's what the American Legion does. But just see, they work and they sell poppies in May, for weekend after weekend. Last year they gave $9,000 to different veterans.
Excuse me, it's more like 15.
I stand corrected, $15,000 to different veterans. The veterans that are up at the fire station there, we take them out for breakfast. We give them a pretty big $100 or so gift card for Christmas that they can use anywhere they want. So it all goes back to the community.
Okay.
Nobody makes any money.
No, I understand. I was just curious technically how that worked. If you needed $30,000 for this event, then, luckily you raised $100,000, where does that?
Well, that's special.
I can speak to that.
Anything that,
That's
I'm
money.
saying that one at a time.
The extra money would be spent on.
No, I was just going to say, anything in excess, we set up a separate account for all of this. Anything in excess that goes beyond what we put out to do it, go right back to the veterans. Just like with poppy money, 100% of the poppy money goes straight to the veterans. Every year, we have an event where we actually write checks to different veterans organizations that are doing the groundwork with the veterans. So this year, I believe we put out, we brought in 15,000 poppies, and that's what we put out at that event. So anything that would be above and beyond that, we just put it out at that event. One of the groups that we give to is like the homeless shelter for veterans. What else do we have out there?
Warrior Wishes.
Warrior Wishes, Folds of Honor, there's several of them. I don't have a list here with me.
So it all goes. It all goes back.
Yeah.
My question was, I know you said it's going to be put up at Randall Oaks.
Yes.
So where about exactly will it be set up?
Remember a couple of years ago when we had the flags up for 9/11? Right there.
Okay.
Right
And
there.
was there any discussion about Carpenter Park, or is it just not big enough?
Carpenter Park, not since they changed it.
Ah, okay.
We couldn't get a Carpenter Park.
I see. Okay.
And really, from a promotional standpoint, out there where everybody sees it, it was a world of difference from, Carpenter Park was great when we did it a couple times there, But when we couldn't, and we went out there, the difference was night and day.
More people out there.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, and we're going to be really publicizing this, you know. And one of the things I wanted to talk to all the different communities for, even though there's nobody in your town that happens to be on it, this I thought is one thing that really can bring all the communities together to fix this right. They're long that this gone on far too long, you know. And if you can help us, that would be fabulous.
Where can we go to set up volunteer?
Sign up.
Okay, if you go on our website, now it's hard to get to because it's a new website, you know. So if you go on the top bar and type in wallthathealsdundee.com, and then you'll see.
I think that was in your packet as well,
Then you'll see there's a sign up and volunteer, and then you'll see you can just click on any day and put in what hours and stuff, and you're good to go.
.com, not .org.
.com or .org?
.com, I'm sorry, .com. There's not the wall, it's wallthathealsdundee.com. It's on, yeah, it's on.
Okay.
2-4 hours.
I appreciate your time tonight, you had a busy schedule.
Yes.
I'm great to see the young police, and with Joe, the older police, and our new chief for here. I was police commissioner for 11 years in Carpentersville. And two of my son-in-laws are police officers up at Carpentersville, so that's a real spot for me. So it's great to see the young ones, and tell you, where you guys are treated now, I don't know anybody else. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So at this point, so we're going to make a motion authorizing the donation?
I'll make a motion authorizing,
Or do we have any, I'm sorry, before, do we have any other, let's make a motion first.
I'll make a motion authorizing a donation of $5,000 to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund for transportation of the Wallet Hills.
Okay, now do we have any discussion amongst the board?
I would just say, just generally, that even though, East Dundee, by the grace of God, didn't have anybody die in Vietnam War, and even though the wall itself will not be hosted in East Dundee, I mean, East Dundee is part of the community, of a larger community in the region, and I think it's important to support an event like this because it's important for those people that do live in East Dundee that are veterans, maybe not in Vietnam, but other wars or fought in Vietnam. And I think it's important for us to be part of something like this.
And I agree, I feel that East Dundee has a pretty solid reputation for supporting veterans. I'd like to continue that.
I'd certainly like to, if I could just say in the middle of all this, I invite you out. Some of the towns are going to place a wreath in front of the wall from the city. That might be something we want to consider too. We can talk about that as we get closer, something we studied. It's all up to you guys, but again, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I shouldn't interrupt you.
I plan on volunteering for a shift and making a donation out of my pocket, but I'm not willing to do it out of my neighbors. So I'm going to pass.
Anybody else? Kevin?
Trustee Wyman?
No.
Trustee Sella?
Yes.
Trustee Wood?
Yes.
Trustee Hall?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Andreessen?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for waiting, I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Sorry
guys.
for the honor.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
won't talk too much. It's awesome.
Fine.
Wait. Can I leave these here? Can you guys?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay, let's move on, folks. Coming in.
Okay.
Next thing we have the item that was on our lengthy public hearing earlier. This is a discussion and consideration of an ordinance granting a variance from section 1560483B of the zoning chapter of East Dundee, 16 inches in thickness for the property located at 200 Christina Drive Industrial Building.
It's my turn to read, I would like to make a motion.
Well,
Or- Yeah, so moved, good, even better.
Yeah, he said that one.
now, do we have any discussion on this? You've all had in your packet the location of this.
Well, here, it says it's not going to exceed 9 feet high, in the packet it indicated 10 feet, so, is that just the normal standard height of this type of sign, or is it?
Oh, there's a normal
I
height.
mean, not that it really matters, but is it 9 feet or is it 10? And it also, too, is it lit?
It is lit.
It is, but it's a fluorescent back with plastic coating on the signs themselves, so it's not going to be outrageously bright, I wouldn't think. So,
Certainly, there isn't a lot of hardship here as far as the request is concerned, being that the variance is so minimal. The larger hardship would be the setback request, so you certainly ask them to go back and comply with the code. I think the reason why we would support the variation is because this is part of a larger project that we've been working towards. And that's the rationale.
I'm okay with the idea of the setback, normally I wouldn't be, but given what you just explained, I'm okay with it, but, any access that would be needed for that right-of-way property, whether it be the village or whether it be the, utility companies or whatever, certainly is gonna be on PAL organization, I'm assuming, so as long as we have that clearly laid out and writing, I'm okay with it.
anybody else have anything exciting on this topic?
So there's two ordinances here. The first one is for height and width, and the second one is for the sign.
Correct, so you have D and E.
Correct. And the height and width ordinance is the one that's on the table right now, and send that to the meeting.
Okay, so,
Do you want me to amend my motion to?
yeah, why don't you do that?
I'd like to amend my motion to, for D and E. I can read them if I need to.
Second.
We have an amended second, trustee Wood. Okay, any other discussion on either of these, the height and or the property line? Catherine?
Trustee Lina?
Yes.
Trustee Sel?
Yes.
Trustee Wood?
Yes.
Trustee Hall?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Andreessen?
Yes.
Very good. Moving right along. Financial reports are in your packet. Reports, everybody's almost everybody is safe and sound from St. Patrick's Day, and that stuff is behind us. That's about all I've got. It's, sorry to see that you've got to start buying salt. I was kind of hoping we had to put behind us. Someone's always got to throw a damper on the works, right? Okay, so we'll go around the table. Trustee Salt.
Big thank you to Roger Shelton. That was the best fireworks display I think East Dundee's ever had.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Second that. Trustee Andreessen. Trustee Mahoney.
Same thing, thank you to the Public Works, Police Department, and all of the private businesses that put on the last 2 weeks here in the village. It was really exceptional. It was actually really nice as well to see people come back, because it is such an event. In fact, I saw Heather Marish, who was the old assistant administrator here in the village with her family. So that was really lovely. And on Wednesday, head down to DQ. It's free cone day because it's the first day of spring. So.
Good.
How many times can you go down there? Just asking for a friend.
Oh, and they are collecting donations for the Children's Miracle Network. It's not required, but it's a good time to, if you're feeling generous and happy about spring, to get down there and support your local business.
What's the first day for the Saturday market? You know that?
It's the Saturday before Mother's Day. That's coming up. And also the calendar of events that we passed out at the parade were very warmly welcomed. If there's any extra, I thought there were big stacks of extras. If we could take a look at distributing them around to some of our local businesses so that they don't go to waste.
Sure.
People were very, very anxious to get that, and actually going, please give me one, and so you're like, no, I don't want anything, so.
All the people that I was seeing on the parade, on the candy instead of the schedules, but that
There's way
You
more
were
than
dealing with
that.
kids, I was dealing with parents.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
Trustee Lyon? Kevin?
Communicated some concerns that I have to Administrator Johnson about lighting for some of the commercial establishments that we have for their windows. It's in violation of our ordinance that I believe is already in place. In addition to that, I think we need to revisit again the ordinances that we have in place concerning electronic signs. We have a number of establishments that have gone ahead and, with impunity, erected electronic signs without permission from the village, and I think that in the event that they can't substantiate it, that they need to have their own permissions.
Okay, very good.
And the majority of them are along 25 north of 72.
I'm assuming there would be permits in place for all of those, so
And I would question that.
I'm just saying, that as a record of them.
Right, if there are, right.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just have a couple things I'd like to know, and I'm not sure if we actually have any information regarding this, but the status of the parking lot north of Main Street Ave. Do we have anything that we know is going to go on there?
North of Main Street.
River Street Tavern?
I mean,
River Street?
River Street,
Yes.
yes, I'm sorry,
We have
River
one,
Street
I
Tavern.
was thinking.
North of River Street Tavern, the status of the back gravel space there, as well as the interior gravel adjacent to Duke's. Are we looking, I know obviously that's not within our,
Yes, we are.
only because we're coming back into our community event season, if we have something that we can at least aesthetically make it look good, as opposed to a permanent, then I think we should really start pushing for that prior to Memorial Day.
I agree.
And then also, Jim, the status of the $35,000 signage grant, what are we looking at from that standpoint that we are moving forward with?
We are working on proposals, we're soliciting different bids, and then we will reach out to the committee to reschedule another meeting. We just have information from Zeller that they're willing to donate their graphic design services
For a new logo?
for a new logo. So we'll be working with Zeller to get a start so that we have something to bring you for further discussion. So at the next meeting, we'll have some ideas of what the logo might be, and then also some cost estimates on the signage that we design.
And do we have any expectation that this would be done prior to our event season beginning this year? Or are we not even contemplating?
Given the scope of it, I don't think so, just to be realistic. Because I think it will take time to agree on what we like. It will take time to then take it to the village board, and then we have a lot of work to do to take the old sign out. Just being realistic, I would say probably not. Maybe we can move on the wayfinding faster. I think that would be faster.
Okay.
But hopefully, we'll go as fast as we can.
Yeah, yeah. On the first two that I mentioned, can we get some type of report on that at the next board meeting?
I would like less.
Those two lots, can we just get an update on the
Yes.
status?
Yes, I actually did, Banditos reached out to me today about the gravel lot. So what I can tell you is that the Banditos gravel lot at 110 River is not in compliance with village code. The lot in the middle of town, owned by Auto Engineering, is essentially grandfathered because it existed prior to the code. So there isn't a lot we can do about the lot in the middle. That's more at the discretion of the property owner. But we have been working very hard to try to get some resolution on the 110 North River line. It's been difficult. So that may be, if without resolution, that is probably something that is going to go before administrative adjudication. But we're trying all other avenues first in order to get this some sort of compliance. So
Rather than the adjudication process, which is an effort to compel the owners to do something, maybe it would be worthwhile to explore the possibility of a more brand, if you will, parking structure there, and do a partnership of at least 3 parties. That being, and if we were to look to that, we would automatically take care of the auto lot. And I know firsthand that if we were to explore this and go that route, that auto lot would be greened over, made beautiful, and donated to the village.
Correct. You know, we just went through our budget meeting, and I think that we all agree that there are other priorities, so that would be my recommendation, and we can certainly look at it, but the funds for a parking structure are significant. We did reach a tentative agreement on a parking lot, in which the village would partner with Banditos on a parking lot. However, getting that agreement deduced to writing, an actual agreement, has been very difficult, and not on the village's part. So that's what I'm working towards. If we want to look at a parking garage, I think we need to have a further discussion about that. But that's got a significant financial impact, and I would caution the village from going that direction at this time.
Well, it's certainly going to cost a lot more to put up a two-level structure than it would to put in a flat
Okay,
lot.
I'm gonna move this along here because this is not an agenda item, and we were just on Christmas report.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't want to,
Okay.
if we could just get some follow, if we get
Trustee Hall.
Well, actually, I don't have anything,
Good.
but I do have a question.
Yep.
Is there any guesstimate as to how many people came to the parade this year
check that
versus?
It was
last year.
too much lighter crowd due to the weather.
Yeah.
I would estimate, someone correct me if I'm wrong, 2,000 to 3,000.
That's it, huh?
I think I'd go a little more than that, but you're right, it was a lot lighter just
How many
because it was
last
cold.
year? Oh,
That was based on a number of estimates and aerial photographs, and I don't know if we have those right now yet, so I don't know. But we'll try and get that information to you. Okay, village administrator.
I just had one report here, well, I have a couple of things. Our budget public hearing will be on April 15th. We will bring the budget back to you for further discussion. We've updated according to the recommendation made by the board at the budget workshop. So we'll come back to you on April 1st, but the public hearing for the budget will be on April 15th. I'd also like to thank the administrative staff, Brad and Tyler, as well as the Public Works and Police Department for all their efforts with St. Patrick's Day Parade. And I don't know if Chief Carpenter was going to mention this, but also thank the Hanover Township volunteers for coming out and assisting us on both weekends and helping us essentially increase our staffing for the event. So thank you for that. That's all I have.
Very good.
I second the thank you.
Village attorney. Village engineer. No report. Chief.
The owner of our largest bar in town came in today unexpectedly, and he wanted to give his effusive praise to the Hanover Township folks. He said they were just wonderful, they were professional in both appearance and demeanor. And he was equally happy, I would say, with the East Dundee Police, since we had many events over the weekend.
Can I ask how it came about that Hanover Township was able to offer volunteers in Dundee Township?
Well, I'm not aware that Dundee
Township
Township
does not have.
has volunteers.
Oh, it was law enforcement from Hanover Township?
Yes, it was.
Oh.
Well, it's their emergency management agency.
Oh, I see.
And we reached out also to another group, I'm not gonna, not fair to mention them. They did not provide any personnel to us. Hanover Township was wonderful.
Good.
Yeah, we hope to use them in the future. They really came through.
How was this last weekend as opposed to the parade weekend? Incident-wise? I saw that report.
Busy both weekends.
Okay.
Probably busier though this past weekend.
Okay.
We had a lot of incidents. This more of the usual. You know, it was nothing major. We did have domestics and such also. You know, DUI, the usual. But the bar owner pointed out to me, he said that they did pretty good business, but there were far fewer incidents than last year. He made a point of that. I'm happy to hear it.
All right. Public Works. Anything to be here from building officials? Finance director? public comments from our large, shrinking audience? Anybody? Okay. Looks like we are going into executive session, so I am going to ask for a motion to recess to executive session, and then we'll take a quick break. Somebody make that motion,
I
please.
will also resist to executive session.
Second.
Trustee Steiner?
Yes.
Trustee Sel?
Yes.
Trustee Wood?
Yes.
Trustee Hall?
Yeah.
Trustee Mahoney?
Here.
Trustee Anderson?
Here.
Trustee Miller?
Yes, yes.
I am also here.
You're right. Okay, very good. Let's take a quick 5-minute break.